Welcome back to the tutorial series. This is lesson 4 of the series where we build an inventory system. This was where we left off in lesson 3. We have laid out our tabs, okay? And in that lesson, I said I was going to style our text in the tabs here such that it is black instead of showing blue to be close to that of our Zoho inventory system. So that I did. I am going to be showing you where I just put a color, text color into the span. Okay, when I go to the code. Okay, so that is one. Number 2, we are going to be cleaning up on our navigation menu here and the side navigation menu. Why? Because in the Zoho inventory system, when we scroll, okay, when we have a vertical scroll, our main navigation menu here, okay, it is sticky. You should notice. Then, even our tabs here is sticky after the welcome message here is hidden. Then the rest of the tabs are sticky, if you can notice that. Okay, so this is what we are going to be working on. Again, the side navigation bar is equally sticky. It's not moving. Okay, so we are going to be working on these 3. Another thing that we would do in this lesson is to work on this footer part of the application. Okay, so by the time we cover all this, I think we should be done for today's lesson. So stay tuned as we continue. Okay, okay, there is one more thing that I should show you. Okay, in our own software, so far there is no way for us to scroll down here because we don't have enough content. But if I come here and open this menu and I open another one, we are going to have enough avenue, okay, so that we are able to scroll. So watch me as I scroll. When I scroll, what is happening here? My own navigation bar is scrolling out of view, and our side navigation bar is equally scrolling. Okay, and as it is currently, we don't have any footer. You can see compared to this part. This part of it is the footer. Okay, where we have some links, these phone image and this QR code and this learn more button and all that. Okay, so these are the stores we are going to be working on in this lesson. Okay. So in continuation, I will quickly love to do some cleanup and show you what I did. I want to bring in some images into the public folder. I've putting them in the images folder. So I will like to remove the default SVG files, okay, that came with the application. So here I'm going to remove them all. Okay, so those files are already deleted. So what we now have are custom images that I'm bringing into the images folder inside of the public directory. Okay, this is how I usually love to structure my public assets. Okay, so let's go to our software. When we this is Zoho. Okay, this is the demo account on Zomo. So this icon that is being used here, it's called Fave icon. So I want to put a custom one for this application, and I've already prepared it, which is this Fave icon. So I have it in the public. So I need to move it to the root directory of the application. No, of the app folder rather. This is where it is. This is the one that comes with the default Next.js application. So I want to remove it. I want to replace it with let me delete this. Okay, so I then need to go to my public. From here, I want to copy this, and I'm pasting it in the root folder of in the app folder, not in the root folder. Okay, so we have it. I want us to use this for now. Okay, then the other asset that we have here are the QR code, the logo, which is the same as the Fave icon, only that they differ in the extension. I'm using logo.png for the logo, and I use it as faveicon.ico. Is an ICO in the app folder and even here. Okay, and this is the mobile. This is mobile image that I just simply saved. I downloaded it here. I downloaded this and this separately. Okay, such that we can just fit it in our footer part of the application. Okay, so after having shown those, we can continue with coding. So the next thing that I would like to show you are the new components, or the components that are necessary for this part of the lesson. Okay, let me show you what I've created. I created a dashboard footer GSX. Okay, this dashboard footer GSX is going to be responsible for all the styling, all the content that we have on the footer part, starting from here up to all of these and these links. Okay, the way this works is a little bit complex for somebody who is new to styling, especially Tailwind CSS, but I will try to explain step by step on what I did to make it work. Otherwise, if I would be typing it and record the video is going to be unnecessarily long. Okay, so here is the dashboard footer GSX. Let me close this so that we have enough room to see what is going on. Okay, and let me close this. I'm using a semantic tag of footer here. We could use div as well. It's going to work the same thing, but it's just that sometimes it's just cool for you, to use a semantic tag like this. Okay, so I have it. I'm closing it intentionally. I want to show you what we have here. Here we are bringing in image component from next image. That is what we are going to use to present those two images that I showed you, the phone and the QR code in the footer part of the application. So here I'm importing mobile image. This mobile image can be called any name. I'm just using mobile image because it's a mobile image actually. So it's being imported from the public folder that I showed in the images directory or folder, and this is the name of that mobile image that we are importing. And here I'm importing a mobile QR. This name can be anything like I told you on here, and the name, okay, of that particular image that I am bringing into the footer part of the application is inventory mobile QR.png. Is a PNG file, so I can open it again. Let's go to the public, and this is our images. So this is inventory underscore mobile underscore QR PNG, and here we have this. You can see they are the same as we have them here. So now that these two have been brought to the components, we are importing link because we need link. All of these are links. All of these are links. So we need to wrap our, we need to use the link components for routing, for navigation of those pages. Okay, so basically that is what is happening here. Now, then we'll need this FA right icon, this which is coming from React icon, and FI phone is equally coming from React icon. Okay. So let me go to the actual components now. In the actual components, like I said, I'm using the parent folder here. The parent div here is the footer tag. So we are bringing in all of these Tailwind CSS classes, okay, for us to style this footer part in the way we want to style it. And I'm giving it a border top of this color, neutral 300, border neutral 300, because border dash T is simply meaning that whatever color of the border here will be applied as a border top. Okay, and once we bring in this, once I import our dashboard footer component into the application, we are going to see that it does have a border top of this neutral is grayish in color. Okay. The next thing is, let me go and close this, all of this. I've closed this div container, and on the copyright part of the footer, there is a copyright information here. This one. Okay. This is what our copyright. This is where we are feeding in our copyright information. So here I just decided to call the name of the application Stockify. Okay, in actual application, you will not want to add code the year. We use a JavaScript date function to put in the year, so that for instance, if you deploy you build and deploy the application this year 2025, next year 2026 you wouldn't need to come and change anything. It will automatically reflect the new year and subsequent years and so on and so forth. Okay, so but here I'm just outcoding it, then I just put this name as a Stockify inventory app. All right, reserved. Okay, so that is the footer. Why this is separate or separately put outside of our main div here is such that it's because this div, this copyright information is spanning across the whole of the div. Let me show you. This is what I mean. If this were to be a very long context, it was going to be covering every here from here. So that is why it is outside of this div, so that we can style it that way. And the next part of the application that I need to explain to you is this one. There is another left. Okay, so this is a left side and this one is the right part. Let me close the right part. Let me open up back the left part. So what this left part is actually how it works is this. I assign a full length, okay, full width rather, okay. It's taking a full width when the application is depending on the screen, okay, that the application is being viewed. So when it is on medium device or screen, then it takes up a 30% of the whole screen. When anything medium up will be 30%. Otherwise, it's going to be full. That is when it's smaller by default. Okay, and the justify between is such that, let me show you, is such that this top part and this bottom part are separate. They are subdivided into their own different div container. Okay, so such that I am able to fit this one to the bottom. You can see it's flashing on the copyright part of the content. So it's flashing down. That was the reason why I have to, okay, create different div. Okay, like here. So I have this, okay, and this one is housing my image. Okay, so I'm justifying between such that this is on top and this is on the bottom, and I'm sending it back to, I mean, flashing on the footer, like here. Okay, and I make sure that there is no padding that is added into this parent div. This left parent div, there is no padding or padding that is added to it. The padding, however, that is required, you can see that this content is not connecting or is not expanding up to the edges and to the edges here. Okay, so the padding that is required to do that was then added in its own. Yeah, here I decided to add it in the top part. That's why we have padding Y of 7 and padding X of 10. Okay, this is the padding to the X-axis, top and bottom, and this is left and right of 10 pixels. Okay. Okay, so that is the top part, and I am using a paragraph tag, okay, to put in this information. By the way, this is just collected. I just copy pasted it from here on Zoho app, and if you notice, this is centralized and this is equally centralized. Okay, I came here to implement that, to center those texts using text center, which is a Tailwind CSS class. Okay, so basically that is what that part, that is what makes that top part of the left div to work the way we want it. And here on the image part, I am using a relative class here, so that I am able to position these elements and this div element. Okay, I'm able to position them. Okay, Y1 is flex to the right. This is where we will have the QR code is flex to the, this is flex to the left, and this part is flex to the right, like here. Okay, again, I'm using a div here because I need two separate elements, like the mobile, the QR code, and our link element, so that I'm able to put one on top and one on the bottom. And again, even our link is flexed out. Why? Because such that I can give a small space between the learn more and the arrow button that we have here. Okay. At the moment, I'm just noticing there is an over effect here. I didn't put it. I didn't put it yet. Okay, so, and I'm giving a size of 12. I only play around the numbers here, and I saw that this 12 is seems to work best. And on the QR code, this is how you distinct the width and the height. So our image, okay, component is coming from image, from next image, okay, which is inbuilt from React. I mean, sorry, from next application. So this image component can take up props, source props, auth props, then width and height, and these are the basic things that we need from the image prop. So that is how this is okay. That is how it's working. Okay. Now let me close the left div, and let's go to the right. On the right part, okay, I am just taking the width of 3/4 of the whole screen when we are on medium screen and above. Otherwise, we take the whole full screen when we are on mobile or smaller screen devices. Okay, so I'm taking a grid columns of 1. This is what would be applied when we're on small device, because this part of it, I already made it responsive. I beg your pardon. Okay, and when we are on small device, we make the grid to go to 2 columns, and when we are on medium and up, we make it to be 3. So that is why we'll be seeing, because here we have 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we have 1, 2, and 3. By the way, what I did was, this is the left side, and this part, okay, is the right part. The right part is equally subdivided into 1 and 2. Okay, let me see. So the top part of the right part, I put it in those content are, yes, this is where I separated it so that I'm able to put it on the top part, and the bottom part of it is okay, no, there must be a mix-up. Oh, sorry. This is the top part. We have this div, and this is the bottom part. Okay. Okay. So all of those other divs are the same. So there will not be any need for me to go through all of them, but let me just explain one. Here we are using our link tag. What was imported here from NextLink to handle our navigation, and it takes href prop. And for now, I'm just sending everything back to the dashboard home page. Okay, but as we continue in the lesson, I'm going to check the appropriate routes. We create those routes, and we point our links to those appropriate links. But for now, this is what we have, and I'm making it to, I gave them a class of text more and of block, which makes it to be displayed as block. One is stacking on top of the other. Okay, and we are giving a space of 3 and margin top of 5. The margin top of 5 would make this to be clear from this top. That's what it is. And the space y in the y-axis of 3 is what separates this, so that otherwise it was going to be clock together. So I just look at what we have here on Zoho, and I try to do what I can as much as I can. Okay, so then on the last part of it, I think it is important that I talk about that. Yes, here, this part, where we have this phone icon and we have this, okay, is a div that I subdivided into two. I gave it a column, and the right part of it, which is this and this, okay, I just throw in two elements. Let me show it here. Yes. Okay, not yes, I'm using span element to differentiate them. And I'm adding this B tag, okay, to bolden this context. Like the phone number here is bolden, and this one is equally. So I use my B tags here to make that happen. And so this is all that we have in the footer. Okay. Okay, maybe I need to scroll them slowly. Okay. For the benefit of this should be opened. Okay. This should equally be opened. Everything should be opened so that you are able to follow them. Okay. 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 So on the bottom part of the left side is where we have the phone. This phone, I'm flexing it to the left. I gave it a width of 12 and a height of 12, and a rounded of full. This is what make it circular. I'm giving a light background of this, blue 200, and text blue of 500, you know, and it was justified to the center and items to the center. That is why, and then we are throwing in the icon that was imported from React icon. Okay, and the other div is the one that I've just explained, and that is what will give this. Okay, so let's go back to our application. Let's go back to our application. The footer is not there because we have not imported it. Okay, so how do we import our footer? Let's let's open up our. So we are coming to the back end. We are going to the home. Okay. Here on the home page or of our dashboard, we can import the dashboard contents. Did I say dashboard content? No, it must be the footer. Let me get the name. Where is the components? Dashboard, yes, dashboard footer, not the components. So we are importing the dashboard footer instead. We are importing the dashboard footer. Okay, this I'm not sure this is where we are going to need it. At least let's import what is needed. Okay, and the app is recompiling. Let's see what we have. I guess it's still compiling. Yes, still compiling. Okay. Now it's refreshing. Wow. Now we have it. This is now the footer. So that was all the styling it takes, okay, to do this the way it is on the Zoho Inventory. Okay, let's go. You can see it's very close. It's very close, and these are icons that take us back to dashboard home. Okay, and like I said, they are going to have their own appropriate content in the future of the tutorial. Okay, so now we are we are done with the footer part. So now we have a way to scroll. Okay, now when I scroll, you should notice that everything scroll. Okay, but our main navigation bar here and the side navigation bar here they are staying down, so they are sticky, they are fixed, you see. Okay, so that is it. Now the next point of the tutorial will be to create. Okay, number one will be to make, either way I can do it either way, to make this one, these our tabs, these ones, this side, to make them sticky when we scroll. By the time we have our welcome component hidden, then these ones should stay here without scrolling up or down, like it is here, like we have it here, So that is going to be implemented. I'm going to throw in some Tailwind CSS classes to effect that. That will be one. And then the next thing will be to bring in content into this getting started, like something that is here, that we have here. Okay, but what I'm going to do in this lesson is just going to be skeletal. I'm going to put in this part of it, and the styling is not going to be exact as this in this lesson, but as we go into more tutorials, that is going to be fixed. And I'm not going to do these other parts. I'm not going to bother myself in putting all of this other content, but we are going to do this and give it a good styling later on in the lesson. Okay, so let's go back to the code. So I have made some adjustment to our dashboard content tabs. So right now, let me quickly show you those changes that were effected. I have made some changes to our dashboard content tabs. So let me show you what's changed. Okay, from the previous, we were using a function here, which is content. Then we are setting the content. Remember, in the previous lesson, I said this is not that was not what we are going to use. That was just a mere placeholder. So here we are implementing something further. Okay, so I've removed that because it's no longer necessary. You are going to see what we are using now shortly. Then I declare another function, which is sticky. Set is sticky to false. The initial state should be set to false. That is to say, it is not sticky. Once nothing is happening, it is not sticky. Okay, this part this is what I'm going to use to make our tabs, navigation tabs here, to be sticky when we scroll. Okay, there is an error that is being seen here. Okay, it's going to be fixed. Okay, let me continue with this. We'll fix the error later. So another thing that's changed here is okay, this part, there is nothing changed here, okay, except for maybe I changed the millisecond from 800 to 600, which doesn't make any, so it's nothing changed here, really. Okay, then I'm throwing in another use effect hook, and this is inside of this use effect hook is where we are declaring another function to handle the scroll, and the function name is called handle scroll. You can see it's taking in arrow function, and we are just making an if else statement here to check if, and here we are calling on the window object of the JavaScript, and using the scroll Y property of it. Okay, and we are checking whether once you scroll, your scrolling length or height has been greater than 20, then set is sticky to true. Otherwise, it is false, like we have it here. It is originally false. So when the screen notice that you are scroll up to 20 pixels, then we are setting it sticky to true. We're kicking it that effect to make it sticky. Okay, and here we are returning the window, and we are just simply removing the event listener. Okay, this is just for performance sake. Otherwise, if this line of code is not there, your browser can hang thinking that when the event listener of scroll Y is called, scroll is called, it will continue scrolling. It will continue to handle the scroll even when you are long done with the scrolling. So this is to remove the event listener, okay, from the state or from the window. So here, this is what our use effect hook is achieving for us here. Okay, then I put in this helper function. Okay, so here is another helper function that I called render tab content. So this is what is going to render our tab content, like on this one. When you click on here, different content loads. You click here, different content loads. You click here, different content loads. So our own may be giving error. I'm going to fix it shortly. Okay, so our render tab content is what you have here. Then we are using a switch function from React, and we are checking against each of the case. So whatever that happened, once our dashboard tab is active, we are returning our dashboard content. Otherwise, if the case is announcement, then we are returning announcement content. If it's recent update, we are returning recent update content, which simply means we are loading it into the UI. Otherwise, by default, it is getting started content. Okay, because once you log in, this is always the active tab. Okay, that's why I made it as a default content. Okay, so I have created each of these components. These components are here. These are the components: dashboard content, recent updates, getting started, dashboard content, announcement content. Okay, I intentionally name it as DSDS to signify that they are dashboard, for dashboard. Otherwise, what I could do for maintainability sake is to create another folder inside of this component folder and put those components there, just for us to be able to manage. So if the application continue to grow big and big, it's an option that we might consider to put them there, so that instead of naming them the way I've named them, but otherwise it's all about choice. Okay, so each of these would be loaded into the UI. Okay, there must be something else that I need to talk about. And our tabs, this has always been there from the previous lesson, so you understand what that is. Okay, I'm just trying to see. Okay, and here, okay, I think I need to talk about this. This state was set here. So Here we are just using our CSS tailwind styles to say if it is sticky, and we are using a ternary operator. If it is sticky, we want to apply this CSS style. Sticky it, let it be sticky, and I'm giving a top of 64 pixel because that is what works. If I don't put this and I put something height that is less, it's going to our navigation bar is going to be hiding under the main navigation bar. This tabs content, this part of the content was going to be hiding under here. Okay, that is why this top of is applied. And Z index, for those that are not familiar with cascading style sheet, the Z index it's called Z index anyway. This is how you dictate which element is just about positioning alignment, maybe one on top of another, like in layers. It's like when you are sending it to the back of the layer or front, or that. This is what the Z index does in Tailwind CSS and CSS in general. Okay, so this is applying a Z index of 40. So the higher the number, then the more the forward it comes up and up. If I put 4 or 10, it's going to go behind. Otherwise, there are specific classes that is declared in Tailwind CSS. You can use 1, 2, 3, but if you are using your regular CSS style, you can add any number in pixel. It doesn't have to be pixel actually. Any number. They don't even put unit there. Yeah, on the Z index thing. So that is what is happening there. Okay. Okay, any other thing to explain here? Okay, so when our tab is active, when we are on active tab, we are taking it as the index from here. When we are on active tag, we apply this style. We apply this. Okay, borderline, border bottom of 4. Okay, I think this I explained. I explained this in the last lesson. There is no need for repetition. Okay, there is no need for repetition. Oh, another cool thing that was done here. Okay, so our render tab content, okay, it was declared here. It's taking in those values. Okay, and this is where it is implemented. Okay, so once we click on the tab button, our loading state will be called into being. So it will change from loading false. From here is loading set loading. So it will change it from loading false to loading true. And once it is loading, then we are using this ternary operator to throw in this element. Okay, and otherwise, if it's no longer loading, that is, it is done rendering, okay, then we'll put in the render tab content. Whatever that is, the content will be loaded here, throwing in the function that was declared here. Okay, so that is it. Okay, previously we had here, we are saying we are just rendering the particular tab, okay, that is clicked, that is being loaded. This is what is being reflected here, okay, in the previous lesson. But now I decided to put in these React components. I just created this component. Let me click on it and show you what it is. So this is just a basic component where I am using this number of array from 0 to 4 because I want 5 ... or small circles to be used. Okay, and I'm putting it in a div. And the key, I'm looping through each of the key, okay, that we are mapping through here. We are taking high as the index. Okay, so, and the key is the index, and we are throwing in our our class here. We giving the small circles width of 2 and height of 2 and rounded of 4. That is what is going to make it a circle actually. And the background of gray. And this one animate spin is coming from CS. Anyway, everything here coming from Tailwind CSS. So animate spin makes those circles to continue spinning while the loading lasts. Okay, then we are using this animate delay, and what is happening here is each of the key, like key 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if the first circle is index is 0, okay, we take 0, we multiply it by 0.15 and in milliseconds. So that is what is going to determine how long that circle works. Stays before they disappear. So it continues like that incrementally. We take 1, we multiply by this. So this is basically what our thought is working here. There are a lot of ways that this can be handled. We may not even use a component. We could just simply use an SVG file or GIF file or image rather. But I've just decided to use this component, which works fine in my own opinion. So once the loading is loaded, then the content should be rendered. Okay, so let's go back to our application and fix this error. Okay, the error is coming from dashboard content tabs. Okay, and we are importing it in the main. Let's go to our main. Okay, now I'm seeing this. I will explain it. Let me continue. Let's see first. Okay, the complaint is coming from main, from dashboard content tabs. Okay, let's open this dashboard content tabs. Okay, I've seen dashboard content tabs. Okay, our dashboard content tab is a default function. We export it as a default function. Therefore, in our main, it should be exported as such, not in a curly bracket like it's constant function. So it's a default function. Let's see whether that fixes the error. As it recompiles successfully, it's still compiling. It's still compiling. I think it's done. All right. Okay, now the error has been fixed, and this is the content. Okay, according to what I have in all of this content, I got some stuff from Lorem Ipsum. I got this content from it. I just position it here. So in further tutorial, we are going to probably be putting some announcements content to simulate a real live application announcement looks like. Okay, then in our dashboard content, okay, it's just simply dashboard content getting started. Okay, so this is where we have, okay, this is what I need to explain next. Recent update is just beer skeleton. Okay, let me come to the application first so that I can be able to explain what is happening there. Here we have configure your inventory. Let's see, you see, configure your inventory. When you click on, okay, these are vertical tabs, like we have horizontal tabs here. Okay, these are vertical tabs. When you click, this is the default. When you click on this, it loads a different content, another content, and loads another content. It goes back to another content. You should notice that we have a blue border to the background, and once this is clicked, the border to the right disappears. It is active now. The border to the right on the active tab disappears, and such new content loads. Okay, so that is what I've done here. Okay, I agree that our styling is not as it is here on Zoho. We are going to work on that later in future tutorials, not in this one. Okay, so but now we get something skeletal that is working. Let me click on dashboard. You see, dashboard content, that's what we put there. Recent update content here, that's what we have there. Then on announcement, I just put in that data from content from Lorem Ipsum. Okay, but this is where I did a little bit of work today. So we have our tab, our blue border to the left, and this disappears. And tab 2, this is just tab 2 content, tab 3 content, and tab 4 content. So because we have seen this, then I can go back to my getting started component and show you how we are able to load this. Okay, so it's going to be populated with appropriate content in the future, and it will be styled in this way. When I wrap it in a bigger div, I'll put this background color into it in future videos. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to our getting started content. Okay, this is where we declare the tabs, and inside of this tab, it's an array, okay, of objects. We have 4 different objects because these are 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 tabs are different contents. Okay, so that's why we have a 4 array of objects in here, and we are giving the ID tab 1, tab 2, tab 3, and tab 4. We are giving them label. Label is what is this content or that text that is we display here. Okay, and the content of each of these objects are coming as a component. They are coming as components, and these components are imported here. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to show you each of these, the content in each of these components shortly. But before that, then we are taking the active, we set active tab to tab 1, because when you get to that, let me go there. Okay, once we are coming here for the first time, the active one is configure your, which is tab 1. That's why I'm setting it to be tab 1 here. So the active will be tab 1 by default. And then again, we're doing some mapping, some manipulation. Yeah, this IDX is supposed to be for index, which I decided not to use. I'm just taking the tab and using the ID to make the index because it was structured that way. It was structured that way. So we no longer need that. And again, so whenever we are using this, by the way, to change this style to this, to the upper one. So the upper one is constant for all the content. Is constant. So sorry, for the keys is constant. This is where we style. So here I declare that if active tab is equal to tab index, that particular tab ID, okay, we are using this ternary operation to make it to have a border left of 2. The thickness is 2. Okay, the side is left, and this is border declaration. And what is the color? Blue 500. Border blue 500. Otherwise, if it is not an active tab, then we apply using this ternary operator to put the border top to be 1. That's the thickness. The border bottom to be 1. That's the thickness for the bottom, and border right. Okay, because it's not, yes, we don't have the border. We have top, bottom, and right. We don't have the bottom. Okay, sorry, we do have the bottom. The one we don't have is left, because okay, so then we apply a gray border of this. I played around these CSS style, colors, and all that, and I'm using what seems to work best in the situation, in this particular situation. Okay, so whatever that is clicked here, we load the appropriate content. You know, the tabs we're finding this is JavaScript function. We're taking the tab E and we are returning the tab ID. Once the tab ID is equal, okay, to or is set or the same as active tab, then we are using this chain, optional chain. Okay, once it is active, it is there, then we'll load in the content, whatever that content is, and that was declared. I mean, this is the content that will then be used, appropriate content. And once the content is loaded, it looks for the component that is attached to that particular content. Okay, now let me quickly show you the tabs, and we'll be done with this particular. So tab 1. Okay, our tab 2 is just tab 2, tab 3 is just tab 3, tab 4 is just tab 4. So that's where we are feeding them in here. Okay, so this then makes our tabs here to work the way it should work. Okay, when you look here, there is an icon and the style in a blue color and all that will be added. It's all about using them in a span and flexing them out. Look for this icon and put appropriate color into it. Then I'll come here, restyle. Then this top part is not there at all for now. Then it will be added, and so on and so forth. That's how this will be get done. Okay, so this then completes this lesson series. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe. Once you subscribe, remember to turn on the notification bell so that you get notified as soon as another lesson drops. Thank you, and God bless.